an adult, albeit a stupid one. It's like the fucking chibi ones that are the most maniacal.
That's
Yeah,
so
yes.
real.
What the fuck is this conversation? Oh, by the
Oh
way,
my
I'm,
Don't
God.
question it.
Should we talk
Yeah.
about the one VTuber that her husband came in the stream and something?
Why
I'm
is
trying
there
to
a
remember.
creeper in my quarry?
Just
I'm
fuck
about to
you.
commit a hate crime.
Here, hold on. Let me
I'm
spawn
opening
some
up
more in there.
Minecraft Prime to have fun.
You fucking whore! How dare you take the torch?
hey God, can you bring me food
No.
before I starve to death?
Hey God, may you smite down my enemies with ravenous intent.
No,
God,
I
if you
can
just
spawn the
made
killer
me
bunny
that.
though.
From fucking Monty Python?
Yeah, no. There is a killer
Brainless
bunny in
in
Minecraft.
I fucking love it too. Can you like rename name tag bunny
Yes.
rabbit? Yeah,
Yes.
I know what you're
Also,
talking about.
fuck. What was I gonna say? So, fuck. What was I gonna say?
Fuck if I
Fuck
know.
if I know. I'm just trying to find any sort of
fuck
food
now,
so I
fuck.
don't starve to death.
It was before. It was before DC said the fucking creeper in his mind.
Oh, fucking.
Creeper.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Was it something about something that should be said because I said I'm streaming?
And then Steve said,
Oh
"Creeper,
yes,
amen."
yes. Okay. So
And
there
then
was this
Steve,
one
Let
VTuber.
there be light.
There was this one VTuber who her husband had submitted a thing, like, so she was going off and like reading like she sold merch, so she was like reading off reviews for her merch, right?
Yeah.
And her husband submitted one star description: product is loud during use. And
I know it wasn't Shy Lily, but it was like one of those popular ones.
yeah, the fucking cat.
Oh.
And then she was like, product is loud during use. She didn't get it at first. And
She's
then
like,
and
"Is this-
then
there's
she's
no
like,
way
wait,
someone would
there's
know."
no way. There's no way. And then she was like, okay, who's this by? She fucking
This
she
man-
moved
she was like,
it, and
"This
it was
better
her
not-"
husband's Twitch username, and she was like, it did. Ah. And just basically
Yeah, she was like, "This
freaked
better
out.
not be my husband," and realized it was her husband.
Yup.
That's some hilarious
Basically-
ass shit.
Basically, her husband told everyone on her stream that she's loud during sex.
Yeah.
That's base as fuck. I'm honest. That's base as fuck.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. I'll see if I can't find the video. Does anyone want it?
Oh, this is latest. Fuck. Oh,
Ye-
okay.
Yeah, 1.20.2.
Yeah, no.
20.3.
With the armored trims and everything.
Yeah,
Yes.
that far. Fucking beta still, beta development that they got going.
Can I
Yeah, 'cause
steal
I,
can I kill some of these cows for food? You guys got a lot of cows.
Those are Austin. So
Yeah, oh shit,
I'd
never mind. No, I
say
just had that one
Eat
there.
them first and then kill them. Some. You know?
Breed them, then
Better-
kill them.
better be fun.
Is a better option too. But
I think you're okay. Well, I don't have any wheat, so that's a problem.
yeah. Well, there's two ways. You either just take enough for yourself, or you breed them and then kill them.
Yeah,
and
it
you can
was,
grab as much as you like.
It was Rose Doodle.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I don't watch her. The best I watch is just literally Chibi Doki, the one where it's actively a war versus chat.
Oh,
If anyone knows.
oh yeah, and then on stream she was being horny, and her husband fucking heard her from the next room. It was like, I can do something about that.
And she was like, "Shut!"
Nice man.
He's like, "Shut up for 5 seconds, please."
why are there so many goddamn skeletons?
that is a man that knows his
Me when
woman.
I enter.
He
You
knows
don't
his
listen.
woman, and he knows when his chat's there. so he's supplying his chat with the best joke ever.
It's free content.
Free
Sorry,
content.
sorry. The first one, right? 3 out of 5 stars. Product is cute, but also has a bit of a stink and is very loud during use.
Yeah.
I want to enter the bathroom.
Oh,
Why are there so many?
hey,
Arrow,
uh,
I am
oh,
here.
hey. As I had to whoever was watching earlier, I
Wow,
swapped
my
out the
house, Bubba.
I did swap out the gauntlets to a different style.
You don't mind if I whoever's house has like the painted or the tainted glass. You don't mind if I cut like one of these trees down in your backyard and then
That's Austin. It's just a tree. Just replant it and you'll be fine.
I was just
Real.
making sure. I don't know if there's any that were just here for actual decorations.
You
Yeah.
can't say that on the street.
You can say whatever the
you
fuck
got,
you
you got like
want.
the video for it. You just want to like
Yes,
post
I
the video.
just submitted it in general.
All right, give me a second. I gotta
General,
open a link
general.
for something else, and then I'll get to
General.
it.
Oh, that's what you meant.
Oh no.
Is there anything else I want from here? For no.
No.
Sorry, I'm going through servers and I was scrolling through a bunch of fucking memes. I was making sure. General. Yeah, where is this? At the very bottom.
What?
Yeah, there she is, Rose Doodle. Yeah, I've seen these. These are great.
What are my valuables, Jeff?
How am I going to find an iron vein directly on top of a copper?
Directly on top of copper?
Iron vein directly on top of a copper vein.
Yeah, that
That's
happens a lot.
funny.
They spawn in the same chunks.
The same areas.
That's why it's actually a good idea to mine copper every time you see it, even though
Okay. never mind.
copper's useless 90% of the time.
By the way, if anyone can get me a cheap
Dildo? I got you.
if someone can get me a cheap Crag Jorgensen, that'd be awesome.
Huh?
What?
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay, now
I
you want to
just-
repeat that in
like, for a second.
English? Or...
That is
wants-
English.
Would you like to
He
speak
wants-
that in understandable?
He wants a replica or an existing surplus
Replica.
model of the first ever bolt action rifle the U.S. military adopted.
For cheap.
For cheap.
They
yes.
actually are
They
fairly.
are fairly cheap. Getting a
Yeah.
sporterized one is about the same price as getting a Lee Enfield, and because of the number of Lee Enfields that were produced, let's just say cheap is their name. They also
Lee
aren't
Enfield is
super.
their name.
Yeah, I was just
What?
about to say.
Shut the
For
fuck
real.
up.
The
Yeah.
name speeds the game.
Based. Oh my god, I need so many fucking levels now again.
I like this person's house, the cobblestone one. This looks nice.
My big ass castle
Yeah.
with the wizard tower in the middle. It's not complete yet. I'm gonna give the
The wizard tower. Yeah, the copper wizard tower.
the copper at the top is the start of a wizard hat on top. I have
Ah,
a brim, but I need a
30-40
hell of a lot
Crag
more
Jorgensen.
copper.
I see a pig. I see
Otherwise
a pig.
known as the Springfield
nice
Model
job.
1892.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Bobby.
Yeah,
Why
if you
did
can get
Springfield,
if
why
you
did
can-
Springfield put a claim to it?
because they were the ones that produced it in the U.S.
Understandable.
It was just the Crag under a different name. They had permission because they bought the rights to produce it.
They bought the rights to make it for the U.S. Army.
Yes.
And then for
But they
every
don't-
grandpa in the Midwest past the age of like 60.
But yeah, if we could get a
I should probably work on a farm, shouldn't I? You know, I'm just gonna build a farmland. I'm just gonna.
yeah,
be a
if I could get even just a sporterized version, I just want one that has the receiver intact. So even if you can just get me the receiver, that'd be awesome.
Oh yeah, because it was cheap to make, wasn't it? So everything could just break easily too.
It was also a very unique rifle in that the ammo used was rimmed, and yet you could literally just slap the rounds in the magazine and close the magazine because it was it had a side loading gate that you flipped down, or like
I forgot I'm with
open
Okay,
on a
okay,
hinge.
okay. Scott, take a breather for a moment. Has anyone here played Red Dead 2?
I just
No,
recognized
but
it by
I've
the
watched
other
content,
name. you
so I
said.
might be knowing what you're talking about.
You know the bolt action rifle from Red Dead 2?
Yes.
That's a Craig Jorgensen.
Ah, okay, that makes more sense. Thank you.
Almost 1-to-1, it's a Craig Jorgensen.
That's because
Even
that's what
though
that
it's
was
named
based
differently.
off of.
Yeah. Yeah. Even though it's named differently because of Rockstar and patents and all that other shit.
Well,
Now,
didn't they name
fun
it the
part-
Springfield 18 whatever?
Because
1898.
Springfield bought the right to build them for the U.S. Military.
Yeah, so they just used the U.S. name.
Yeah. Anyway, so the fun part, right, is that it's a rimmed round. You would think just throwing them in the magazine,
Rimmed
you would
for
get
your
a
pleasure.
shit ton of rim lock. No. And as a matter of fact, it's near impossible to cause rim lock in that rifle because even when you purposefully try to cause rim lock in that rifle, it doesn't rim lock.
It don't give a shit. The rims were very. The rims had a special like rounded design that allowed them to slip over each other, but the extractor went deeper than the rims could.
Go over
went,
each other.
Yeah, it went more into the casing rim than the rims themselves. So the extractor was able to pull them out, but the rounds wouldn't get caught on each other at the rim.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is a very common issue in Lee Enfields if you load your stripper clips wrong, where you get a shit ton of rim lock and then you're like, fuck, how do I fix this? And the only way to fix it is to take your mag out and fiddle with the fucking round.
Stripper clip.
Actually
I
called
agree
them
that is
char-
funny.
I believe they called them charging
really
strips when they were first when they
Nope,
were
chargers.
Oh yeah, chargers, right?
Like the large one?
Fun fact, I actually did find out there is a original charger for the Krag.
Neat.
And it looks weird as fuck. It looks like you're taking what you would think of as like, oh, that's its magazine, and like dumping the rounds in.
Oh yeah, it clicks on the side. You slam a lever on the side. It throws all the rounds inside. You pull that, close your gate, and you're good to go.
Yeah. Here, let me. It was a prototype too, which
It
is
was
super
it
weird.
was a prototype, like the M1, like the Garand's magazine. Like the magazine fed Garand's and shit.
Didn't those become like iconic?
No,
I'm thinking
you're
clips.
thinking of the. You're thinking M14.
Here, Nick. I'm posting it in general. This is
All right.
it's stupid easy, and honestly, I would with what we're making, we should definitely do this.
Scott, I have a question.
Yes.
Is the M1A made by Spring? Is that actually just the Garand magazine fed?
Yeah. It's well. It's
Or
modified.
or is it an M14 that's been civilianized?
Good question. Next.
Hold on. The M14 carbine? Okay, so the M14 was based completely off of the M1.
I thought
This
it
is
had.
all
I thought
of
it,
my
I thought it
content.
had. I thought it had a different gas system than the M1 Garand. Because
This is like Zachary's gun rants.
Yeah,
Because
I'm
the
just
Gar-
letting them
the
go. This will be
Garand, I
my
know the
content. It's
Garand
fine.
actually functions like an AK. It's a long stroke gas piston. I thought the M14 was a short stroke or gas impingement like the AR.
Hold on.
Hold on,
I'm
guys. He has to
taking a
Google.
look.
He has to
Oh, yeah,
Google if
Riley,
he's
just so
right.
you know, I no longer need copper. I am not making the hat out of copper.
No, you can never
I
have
found
too
a
much
massive
copper.
vein of amethyst.
Look, you can never have too much copper.
No.
because
Copper
you-
and amethyst is a better idea.
Anyway.
True,
Use the copper
gonna
as
keep-
stars.
Ooh, no, I'm thinking I use the copper as the brim and as like a band around the top, maybe.
Maybe.
But then do the rest
No,
of it.
no. Get some black wool and make a pilgrim hat. Get a pilgrim hat.
It's
copper.
going to be a wizard hat, not
It's
a chance
going
of
to be a
making
wizard
pilgrim
hat. End of
Well,
discussion.
what if you use? Well, what if you made a wizard hat but gave it like the pilgrim buckle
I can do
made out
that.
of copper?
Just give it a band of gold instead for the buckle, I
Copper.
guess. Well, yeah, that's what I mean. But I said gold for the copper. Because usually when you see a wizard's hat with that, it's usually just like yellow.
I think.
Anyways.
But if he's using amethyst for the hat, then maybe the copper would contrast with it better.
And I also already have a shit ton of copper.
Okay,
Anyways.
Nick, I just learned that John Grand was not paid a single cent in royalty for his M1 Grand.
I would
No,
just like
and
to
that-
say,
that
I have
still
been
pisses
mining
me off to
amethyst
this day.
for as long as y'all have been talking about guns. I have so much. I have 1, 2, 4, 5 stacks of amethyst.
Nice.
Fuckers.
Hey, I
Steve,
have
could you,
a
like, look
question.
at
How
the
much?
girls who can
You
do the
stream on
dance?
Twitch, correct?
Me?
No, Crow.
Oh no, I'm streaming on YouTube.
Oh, would you still get in trouble if I racked an AR on stream?
I don't give a fuck. The
Maybe.
worst they can do is demonetize it. You're not threatening anybody. They can't do
I'm
shit.
not trying. I'm really not. I'm just fucking around with it.
Go ahead. I don't give a fuck.
Oh, Scott, my optic broke.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. I really need to get that Monstrum optic, so well, there's a Christmas item for you.
So the difference between the M14 and which is an M1A, by the way, the M14 is also M1A.
Okay, what's the operating system? Is it exactly like the Garand, or is it a short stroke?
It's a short stroke. The difference between the M1 and the M1A are long stroke and short stroke. That's pretty much it. Obviously, and the fact that one uses an unblocked clip and one uses a detachable box mag. Otherwise, the receiver remains the same.
Well,
Obviously,
receiver
this is
portions
common
remain the same,
knowledge.
but action.
And actually, so does the barrel. The barrel
Okay,
is also the same.
Yeah, I think their pitch was that they could use similar parts.
Yep.
But in reality, the parts don't really work together because of the caliber changes.
Actually, for the M1 Garand barrels, you could still use the ammunition that was issued for the M1A. You would just not have all of that pressure actually go towards propelling the bullet as effectively because it was slightly shorter, the round. 'Cause
Yeah,
the cartridge
no,
was shorter.
the Navy actually used rechambered M1 Garands because the case dimensions are very similar aside from overall length. They just put little stoppers in their headspace.
Yeah.
So yeah, they did historically use M1 Garands in 308 or 7.62 by 51 NATO instead of 30.6 for the Navy into like Vietnam because the Navy never really saw combat. But of course, around Vietnam, then everybody was getting issued M16s and AR-15s and like Colt pattern shit.
Yeah, here's another version of that speed loader for the Krag. This is the version that
Let
we
me
would
hobble back to my desk because my knee is starting to act up for no fucking reason.
fun. We'd probably use the first version, but it would work for either or.
Let me see this crap. Let me see this bullshit.
Sound like a disappointed dad right now. Let me hobble over here and see this shit. Let me adjust my
Where the fuck did
glasses.
you throw it? Where'd you put it?
It's in general.
Oh. Oh shit, that looks weird. That looks fucking weird. Oh wait, you know what we have to revive?
Huh?
You know what we have to also make for like
What?
for like mega big game hunting?
Oh no, not the.
M19 18 Tankgewehr and 50 BMG.
So smaller Tankgewehr. And also, you do not want a fucking Tankgewehr.
No. Let's be honest. No. Because what we're gonna do, we're gonna port the barrel. We're gonna give it barrel threading. We're still gonna keep the wood stock, but we're gonna have it with steel inlays for structural. Pad the stock to all hell, and give it cartridge holders, because why not?
Hey Nick,
Yeah.
do you know why I say that you don't want the Tankgewehr?
Because, well, first off, we also have to realize that the Tankgewehr was using an almost 14 millimeter projectile with 120 millimeters of casing behind it. So it was already incredibly. It was the hottest round ever fired from a man-portable rifle. This includes the fucking 14.5 Soviet. It was a spicy motherfucker. And no one liked firing it because there were genuine reports of like cracked collarbones and like dislocated shoulders.
Not even the
Yeah.
Marines?
No,
It was
no one wanted to
actually-
fire that bitch.
Actually,
Everyone preferred the boys.
the Tankgewehr is actually German.
Oh, so yeah,
Don't
not
say.
that I had to.
Gewehr.
The Tankgewehr it was the German response to the British landship, the Mark IV tanks.
Because they weren't crazy enough to build what we were building. And I don't think we were there yet.
No, well, we kind of were, but we didn't have any tanks there yet. We didn't even have the concept of the tank. Actually, the UK actually brought forth the concept of the tank. We only perfected it with the Abrams about 70 years later.
But we also were one of the first to get anti-tank weaponry that actually did something to stop a tank.
Oh, I don't think you under. No,
No, that's
the
still
Germans
Germany.
were.
That's still Germany. They were on top of that shit in World War I. They were on top of that shit in World War II. They had the
Okay.
Panzerfaust and
I said one of.
But you said we were one of the first. No, we were like the last people to have that.
Yeah, we were the
effective
last people.
anti-tank. The British had the Piat, which, although it was essentially a giant ordnance launching Nerf gun, the warheads themselves still did their job really well. The Germans at that point had almost perfected mass-produced heat rounds, so they came into the war with that shit. The Panzerfaust, while it looked like this dinky disposable thing, those fuckers would tear through any armor that they hit, and were terrifying because of how portable they were. And then you have the Panzerschreck, which was essentially the German answer to our bazooka, except they scaled that bitch to 88 millimeter for their rockets instead of our 60 millimeter.
Hell, they got so bold as to take the Panzerschreck and make a fucking anti-air version that fired just unguided rockets. that
Yeah.
infantry could also just carry around.
Yeah, like flak rockets. But they tried to make that. They didn't actually make that shit.
Yeah, they did. They had a couple that they produced. Were they effective? No, not by any mean.
It's the Nazis. All of them were on fucking meth and cocaine.
You say
wonder we
that,
kicked their
but
asses.
I remember a very specific story about a American pilot who wasn't allowed weaponry because he was a reconnaissance plane. This was during World War One, I think. He was a
It was not that he wasn't allowed weaponry. It's that reconnaissance planes came about very early because we didn't learn how to put guns on the planes yet.
Yeah. And
Like,
he
literally
kept
the
getting
next year.
shot at during his missions. So he said, "Fuck it! If they're not gonna put guns on my ship, I will." And he collected a bunch of bazookas, duct taped them to his fucking plane, and had like a fucking wire set up to pull the triggers when he did something in the
Oh,
cockpit.
He fucked with That's where that comes from in Battlefield 1.
And it's
Yes.
just this fucking like little rink-a-dink reconnaissance plane, like early World War One reconnaissance plane,
And it
with
has
just
the RP3
bazookas.
rockets on it.
And it's just bazookas attached to a reconnaissance plane.
So, it wouldn't be bazookas. It would probably more likely be like an early RP3 anti-personnel artillery rocket that he just...
Some form of RPG. Like they were
I love
supposed
how
to
he's
be.
wrong on every fucking account.
Look it up.
RPG stands for rocket propelled grenade.
Yeah,
What you're referring to is a rocket artillery ordnance or a literal rocket.
Yeah, it was just a rocket on a stick. It was not an RPG by any means.
RPGs are very different because a rocket is they're different. They're different in the way they're performed because a rocket that bitch is always armed. The moment you hit that switch, it goes zoom and it blows up. The RPG that has like safety caps and shit, and it functions like a hand grenade with a rocket attached to the ass.
You guys
end of
know
it.
what I meant.
We understand what you meant. However, you also have to understand that we get it irks us with this kind of misinformation. Irks us because it leads to misrepresentation, which then leads to fear, which then leads to gun control. We hate gun control, so we try to hit the start.
I don't hate gun control. I just think that how it's implemented right now is not helping at all.
I
it's
think
not
if
control.
you
I
can
just think the
pass a
government-
background check and a psych eval, you should be able to have a fully functioning tank and a rocket launcher just on your property in your private residence.
Yes, that I can
Here's
agree
a-
with.
I can agree with background checks. However, I will say the questionnaire is fucking pointless, and they should just run the background check to begin with. The 4473 is a unconstitutional document. The whole tax stamps are unconstitutional documents. The only fucking thing that I will ever support that the ATF does is the background check. That
Oh
is
no, the
only
ATF
fucking
should
thing
be
that they do.
abolished.
Yes.
The ATF should
Agreed.
be abolished.
Or turn it into the Bureau of Alcohol and Tobacco. Why do you have to regulate firearms? That gives them too much power.
That's the exact opposite of the reason that part of the Constitution was written.
They fucking
mean-
they ignore the first two sections of their fucking acronym.
Like, let's talk about something real quick, right? If George Washington were alive, were able to be alive today, even if it were just for
He would own
Enough
let's be honest,
time.
He would own a fucking minigun.
Oh, I was gonna say, even if it was just for enough time to see what our weapon technology is at today, he would say, well, if the military is allowed to purchase it, why can't your ordinary civilians? Because that's
Because-
in the Constitution.
Because they had just gotten done dealing with one dictatorial government, tyrannical government, and they didn't want down the line, like today.
What's going on today?
Yeah, they didn't want
Literally
exactly
what's
what's
going on
going on today. Everyone's just
The
like,
redcoats played the long game.
Exactly. Like everyone looks at me like I'm crazy when I talk about my radical views, but I'm like, this is all just basic constitution shit. Our government
like
is tyrannical. The last
Yeah.
time we successfully solved that was by killing them and putting new people in place.
like genuinely like the fact that we can't own a tank, George Washington would literally just look at that and be like, why why though?
They're
And the
bad
fact
for
that
the
they can't give
roads.
a
Those rubber
definitive
treads.
I still love.
Wait, okay, no, that's incorrect because the Germans built your roads specifically to the point where tanks could drive on it in case of an invasion that happened.
And we copied that. We
No,
copied
you got the Germans to do that after World War II.
Yeah, but metal treads that initially come on tanks would tear apart our. We barely have functioning roads as is. Have you looked at our infrastructure lately?
So the roads that he's referring to are highways.
Oh yeah,
You can drive a steel treaded vehicle on highways and it will not damage the asphalt or the concrete. Residential roads are not built to that standard because they would be too big and take too much time.
Mm-hmm.
so it's not even
But,
worth building
Your
those
highways
roads
though
to
were
that
absolutely
standard.
But no,
built for that.
he would absolutely be like, why can't civilians own fighter jets? Which technically now we can own F-16s if we buy them from Iraq, but those are outdated now. So he would also be like, well, why can't they own the modern, like the most updated version? Because that's what was supposed to be happening. That's what's in the Constitution. Why?
Yeah.
Why
It's
no?
like, sir, if we gave a gun that could kill gods to everyone would be killing each other and God would have been dead thousands of years ago.
Okay.
That's the answer that the Democrats would fucking give, and everybody will look at them like, "Are you fucking high?"
I mean, be real though.
You'd
Technically,
also
that
look
would
at
be
both
the
of the
end game of
parties
what
and be like,
happens.
what the fuck are y'all high on? Because what the fuck?
Oh yeah, no.
Because both parties are kind of fucked.
But he would
take one look at our two-party system and be like, yeah, this place needs to go.
No, he
Yeah,
was here when the
so,
two-party
we're burning
system
it
was
down again?
formed.
No,
'Cause
he wasn't. No,
Yeah, he was.
wasn't.
Because the two-party system was
Washington
initially
hated the two-party
formed by arguments
He was
between
not
Thomas
for the
Jefferson.
two-party system.
No,
Let
dude.
me-
He wasn't around. That shit started on our fourth president. He was alive. He wasn't in office.
Yeah.
I believe he still held power. I don't think he was president anymore, but he still
No.
held power. No, he
he
wasn't
didn't.
even alive because he died during the second president's
Mhm.
presidency.
Oh shit. Yeah. Well, oh shit.
You learned this,
And-
but he was alive. He was
You learned
president
this in
when the
school.
two-party system was formed, but it was
No, I
really
didn't.
the Federalists and the Democratic Republicans, and it was the two leaders were Alexander Hamilton and Thomas Jefferson.
Really quickly though, here's a very big thing, right? He didn't like the idea of having a two-party system. He actually wanted there to be as many parties as people wanted. And I mean, I guess now everyone has their own like little different thing, but everyone thinks that, oh, just because there's two parties, I have to fit in between one or the other, or I have to be
One side
independent.
or one the other side.
Yeah, it's
You either go
one or
full
the
right
other
or full
is what
left.
everyone sees it as nowadays. That's not what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be you vote for whoever held most of your values.
Yeah,
That's what it was supposed to be.
there was
which
originally a
does
no-party
not fit-
system.
Exactly. But you can't just have everyone have all of their values fit within two parties.
Yeah,
That's why Britain has like a 16-party system.
and it still doesn't work.
Yeah, and that still doesn't work. But it would work a bit better here in the US because 16 versus 2, at least one of those parties would probably hold, more of your values.
Fair. Britain's party system probably doesn't work because they're still stuck up on a
That too.
hierarchy.
But also, uh, yeah, he did want more parties, but though my point still stands where he was there for the two-party system to get formed because it was the two people that were the most persuasive at that time in politics.
I mean, he was pretty fucking persuasive, but also the entire reason that he wasn't like in presidency for the third time was because he was like, look, I get it, but also there needs to be more people than just me.
Yeah. He was
He
also probably
he
getting tired of having to play mediator between
that
uh
was also part of it, but it was very much a look. The way that I want this country to be ran is that everyone can have a turn provided that they fit the requirements set forth in the Constitution.
yeah.
So, yeah, like I've had my time. Let me do my own thing, which is just be a fucking farmer. Yeah.
Let me go back to my farmland and hoe the night away and all that and say hello to my wife. I'm tired of running for fucking president.
I'm tired of
The
beating
first
all you
Okay, when
fuckheads.
he was elected the first time, it was genuinely the only reason he became president is because no one else stepped up.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't
Well,
even run. It was just okay, well, if no one else is gonna fucking run, I guess I will. And then no one else went because it was like, how do I live up to George Washington?
Well, by doing better, you just get up there and do better.
well,
That
there
wasn't a
was
thing that happened until he became president.
Mm-hmm.
there was Hamilton, but no one really liked Hamilton. Hamilton wanted to lead everything all the time, but he also was kind of a loudmouth asshole, so.
He still did good things, though.
According
Oh
to
yeah,
Lin-Manuel
no, he
Miranda, he was a good
likes
rapper too.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm sorry,
Fuck you,
what?
it's a good musical.
It is a good musical.
It is a good musical. It's also, I mean, ignoring the family ties and they had to smash cut a lot of things, but it's also pretty fucking accurate in the broad strokes.
Yeah, it's really accurate. He was the founder of the Treasury. He
Yeah.
did do a lot for the revolution. He did very much help this country.
And in an ideal world, his bank system really was foolproof. We just fucked it
Yeah.
up over the decades.
Yeah, and like he was definitely an asshole, but he was also still human.
He was
He was an asshole because
his problem, and this is amplified perfectly in the Hamilton musical, is he was always one if not the smartest guy in the room, and he knew
Mhm.
that. And that was his problem, is that he was well aware of the fact that he was smarter than everyone. But he was
Yeah.
also very much that trailer park kid that's trying to fight all the rich kids and is angry at the world because fuck you for having what I didn't.
Fuck you for always having what I did not.
Yeah. But he's still 100%, wore the fake Supreme, the knockoff Chanel.
Like Thomas Jefferson was genuinely much more of an asshole.
Thomas Jefferson was an asshole to people that didn't agree with him.
Oh no, Jefferson genuinely was an asshole. Let's talk about how many fucking patents he stole.
Oh, yeah, no, 100%. I think you're thinking of
And that
Edison, but yeah.
No, Edison didn't steal patents, but he did steal a lot.
He stole
but
ideas.
No, he straight up
Not
stole the
Edison.
patent for
The radio. I believe,
the
right?
radio. The
Edison
radio.
jacked almost all of Tesla's shit.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was gonna say
Tesla. There was-
Edison
Edison's a
took
whole
the radio.
bit.
Wasn't the Tesla or wasn't the radio by Jefferson? But he stole that from Jefferson because Jefferson stole that from stole a bunch of shit from him.
No. The idea of the radio was Nikola Tesla that Jefferson stole.
Okay, yeah. So
He essentially stole the award that Nikola Tesla should have gotten because
okay.
Jefferson was also vocally super against slavery, but he owned and had children with, and never freed several of said children of several slaves which he owned.
But
He was an abolitionist with slaves.
yeah, so he was a hypocrite.
Yeah.
I mean, wasn't Washington also against slavery and owned slaves?
He treated his
Washington
he
notoriously
treated his
treated-
slaves like actual employees.
yeah. He actually paid them. They weren't paid.
They were more
properly.
indentured servants than slaves.
Yeah, they were more indentured servants at that point, and proper
Which-
indentured servants, which is still bad, but he didn't treat them like assholes. If one of them got
super
sick,
progressive
hey, get the
for the
fuck away
time.
from
if one of them got sick, he would try and help them out. He would just
Yeah.
increase their servitude, which they were okay with because I'm still alive. I'm okay with that. My
And
boss
I'm
also
sure he
treats me
beat
right.
some of them and stuff because
Hey, no,
fuck
fucking
who died
shit
to a
happened
zombie.
back then. But
I had one heart, and the zombie
I don't know.
jumped down off of the top of my wizard hat
This is
onto
now
the
a
tower that I was
history
using to get to the
conversation.
top, and that was
Mhm.
some fuck shit.
I am
But
fighting
yeah,
3
no.
spiders with stone and no armor.
But yeah, no, George Washington was genuinely like a very progressive guy, and honestly, yeah, like I think he would look at what the fuck we're doing today to go against progression and just be like, what the hell? But also look at the same people that are causing. He would look at the reason why we're going against progression and say, what the fuck is wrong with you to those people?
Yeah.
Because I know Nick has a couple of those in his head, but yeah. Also, Nick, are you still there? Yeah, you are, because you're still sharing your screen. Nick.
I'm here. I'm just occasionally muting my mic.
Oh, okay. You know what I was talking about, right?
Elaborate.
Restroom laws. Why those are starting to be a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like George Washington would take a look at those people and be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're actively ruining progress. But he would also look at trans people and be like, cool.
I don't know if he'd be like,
if they
cool.
were doing it for the right reason.
No, I'm gonna
That's-
say he's probably gonna think
He's
they're
gonna be
weird.
absolutely confused for
He's gonna be
yeah.
confused
Yeah,
as
he
fuck.
wouldn't be
He will
cool with
never
it
understand
because-
that shit.
No, that's a good point.
But that's
Alright,
more of a
let me-
product of his time than
Yeah.
an actual
yeah.
statement on who he is as a person. Like,
Then let's go with one that I think would probably better reflect the state of our school systems and how it's actively getting worse.
oh yeah, he'd
It will
be pissed
always
about
get
that.
worse because no one's gonna try to change it or anything because they keep the fucking same.
I mean, that's not true. It was getting better there for a little bit.
No.
When?
And then
Where?
bitch-ass
Where was
Michelle
I?
When?
Obama stole our fucking
When?
good food.
Good.
We
food.
all-
I
we
want to
all done?
clarify when Obama was in there and there was good food. Most of the kids most likely threw that shit in the trash.
The
Yeah,
problem
no,
with
I
the
can
school
agree with that
systems
one.
is that they don't actually want to teach you how to survive in day-to-day life. They want to
okay,
teach you how to work in
wanna
a
teach you-
factory nice and orderly.
They want to teach you how to work at a factory nice and orderly, or wherever the fuck you're gonna work in your future, and that's it. They don't teach you anything else. Like,
Not even
literally,
wherever
give
you
me
wanna
a class
work.
that teaches me how to do taxes. Like the last 3 years of your school life, I should at least be taught how to fucking do taxes, how to manage a mortgage, manage this, and they don't do that.
I lost
They
my
don't wanna
house.
do
those
that.
those are optional classes. I actually did take one of those classes.
But
in my
even
last
those
year.
classes are bare bones and shit.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
have
dude,
learned
I took-
more
I took
about
one of those tax
surviving the
classes
real
as well.
world by simply dropping out and living it than I ever learned at school.
Same here. I dropped
may-
out grade fucking 9.
If I may throw something out real quick, that's also another time issue because at the time that George Washington was around,
There was no education system.
The
Well,
education
there was.
system, the
I
But it was
education
for the
system was
aristocrats.
highest grade. You just had to learn what 2 times 10 was, essentially.
that right there, what Lamb said, because you didn't have to worry about mortgages because they didn't fucking exist. You could
Yeah.
actually buy a house. You didn't have to worry about your taxes because, well, I mean, you did because
You did,
had-
but
they had tax-
it
that's
wasn't
essentially-
complicated.
No, they made it very simple. They told you how much you needed to pay,
Yes.
and
then you paid it.
You would just fucking pay it. Like, okay, here.
Yeah. And the education system was essentially learn math so that you knew that when they said you owed them $20, you gave them $20 instead of 50, and you lost the 30 because they didn't want you to get it back.
But
And now you're fucked because you have to do the 7 different ways, and you have to do all 7 different ways. Because if you don't do all 7 different ways, you don't pay off.
what I was going to say is it was getting better in the 60s because that's when we started integrating everyone into schooling. That was a step forward out of the countless steps backwards. But he would have looked at that and been like, "Oh, so everyone's going to be learning the exact same thing at the exact same time? That's great."
Mm-hmm.
That's what I meant. That's when it was getting better. Can we
Women
agree
were
on
learning.
I mean,
that?
I would still have a
Children
shit
were
time in the
learning. Adults were
60s.
even learning more.
I mean,
Well,
I would still have a shit time in the 30s. Or in the 60s. I was a poor, mentally ill kid.
I'm not saying that you wouldn't have. I'm just saying that that's like
Like shit wasn't really getting better for anyone that didn't have money ever.
You went to school and you were starving. That was pretty much it.
Yeah, I occasionally wasn't starving when the government actually sent the money to the school that they were supposed to because of the forms my mom filled out. Occasionally I'd get to eat.
Occasionally, you were literally forced to pray for food.
You're not even. You think I'm joking?
I'm not. I know you're not joking because I may be fucking Canadian, but we had the literal same issue. We had like 3 kids who did not eat. Let me clarify. The best they could get was like a fucking tiny Kit Kat, and they have to trade it for anything they could get,
Yeah.
or they just eat it, and they most likely just ate it.
Or if you're like me and that's all you could get, and you're too tired because you can't even sleep at night because you sleep on a fucking couch because there's no place for you to sleep in your tiny ass trailer. You just take a
Okay,
nap.
that one I don't know, but I understand how that feels because I've slept in a camper before. That shit's small. With 3
Yeah.
people, that shit is small.
Yeah. This ain't even me flexing poverty. It's just like that shit happens and it sucks. And our school system does nothing to help it. In fact, it only amplifies the issue 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Because they don't care about the kids, they care about the results.
Yeah, and the whole no student left behind thing, that was the biggest mistake we could have ever made.
I think it was the right idea, the wrong
I don't think it's a
method.
good. I don't think it was a good idea. Yeah, no, I don't think it was a good idea to begin with because all it did was bring down averages, no matter because because what they were forced to do was essentially, what happened. That concept involves like, hey, you need a very high majority of your students passing, no matter what. Okay, how do we accomplish this? I don't know. Get it done.
And
And
they
then they
didn't
lowered it
actually.
for some reason, and
lowered
it's
it.
making people stupider, and it's worse.
Yeah.
Well, it's because they
You should
didn't
still
actually
keep it
push to
60.
help all the students better. They just let all the students that didn't actually understand. They put no effort into teaching those students a different way. They just passed them even though they didn't understand it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
And then those kids are going to have to learn it later in life when they really want something, because they're going to realize
Oh,
the first time
Duolingo.
failed and they have to redo it and pay more.
yeah. Which just loops right back around to they didn't actually teach us anything. They just let us slip through the cracks.
Like I was doing grades good, and when I failed a grade, like, well, I mean, not even like failed, like I had above 50%, but I just wanted to get better scores, essentially from my parents. They wanted me to get better scores. I stayed that grade for like an extra year, and I done this like I think twice, just to get better grades off in the end. I know there was once, but I think there was a second time.
Yeah, no, I had my spirits crushed by school pretty early, so I just kind of stopped caring and just coasted by on the No Kid Left Behind thing for a while. And it's not even that I didn't know the material. Like, I understood everything I was taught. I just didn't care enough to put any effort in.
It's
Yeah.
Git, Duncan.
I mean, honestly,
Well,
I just
this
dropped out because I was in constant. I was.
So it's Git by itself, but then you're saying if gets.
Huh?
Oh fuck.
Yes.
I am learning Duolingo.
Ah.
Most on that.
But this conversation took a weird ass turn, and I am still streaming. So on to
We talked
greener
about- we-
pastures.
We literally went from gun laws in America to school, which is the dumbest shit ever.
We had an overarching theme of America's kind of gone to shit.
America's gone to shit for a bit. Yeah.
Speaking
Will
of
it
gun
get
laws,
better?
the
Let's
ATF
see
is-
out in next episodes, aka every fucking year.
Speaking of gun laws, the ATF is being stripped of power, and we are being led to believe that the suppressor tax stamp requirements are being disbanded, and suppressors will become an over-counter item.
I'm sorry,
Fucking
what? You can just buy
thank
a
you.
random suppressor in America now?
Maybe not currently, but it is
Like
in
soon, I know.
Like soon, yeah. Like it is in the process in courts. That is what I believe is occurring. Yes.
Yes.
I love that. It's a step
I
in
do
the
too,
right direction.
because the next step from that would literally be machine guns or like barrel length restrictions.
Or you know the fucking stock restrictions they put on.
That
You
would
can't
that
have a
would fall
folding
under.
stock.
No, you can have a folding stock on a rifle.
You're thinking California, and California just needs to be fucking destroyed.
California needs to fall off at the fucking fault line.
We need to nuke California from orbit.
No,
I'm pretty
because
sure I
that would
played a
affect-
game on why that was a bad idea. Something
Yeah,
about
no, we
Fallout
can't-
New Vegas? New Vadis? Someone
No,
will correct me if I'm wrong.
no. Yeah, New Vegas, but that
New
no.
Vegas?
The reason being why we can't just nuke California is because first off, its neighboring states ain't half bad.
Yeah, that's true.
And to top it all off, I say the fault line because half of San Francisco and onward can kindly drop off the ocean. The redwoods
Precision
and
spot with a
everything.
giant rock face.
Huh?
Hit it from orbit with a giant rock really accurately in the center so that the other ones around it aren't.
That's not how blast radiuses work, or how extinction
that
level
is-
events work.
That is
I'm fine with
how-
the entire
that-
planet going gone as well.
That's actually how extinction level events work, but that's not how blast radiuses work.
Yeah, one was right, the other wasn't.
We're not.
I mean, like-
dealing, we're not doing that. First off, we're not doing that.
But come on,
If
do it
we're
for the
going-
vine. Do it for the meme.
No,
Yeah, do it for the vine.
no. Hey, anybody got 200 pounds of TNT and a big ass drill? Why
I
is
mean,
there a
then
dragon?
again,
Whoa, yeah, there's a dragon.
What do you
I-
play?
I want to clarify though something. TNT used to actually just straight up be used for construction, and now we have grenades, which I think is amazing. We realized the dangerous potential of it, and we essentially said, yeah, but now what if we made it more fucking capable of being thrown?
Except for it
As a
doesn't
person you
even
really
have as
hated.
good of a blast.
Yeah, it doesn't have as good as a blast, but it'll still kill a person.
The
Yeah,
reason-
because the
so-
shrapnel, I could get the same effect with putting some bullets in a frying pan. I watched Red.
That actually would
no.
work.
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't work.
It wouldn't
right.
fire off.
You need an igniter to happen.
Yeah, the
have
heat would
some of
eventually
these-
ignite
I
the
have these
gunpowder.
chests sorted out. and
No,
you
okay,
should really
so
take a
while
look
they
at it.
would go off,
God,
it's
you
not a
teleport to-
big enough detonation
It's-
to
they're
cause
sorted out.
serious
They're all on the
injury
left
to
row.
enough
Where's
people.
it?
They wouldn't just fire off in random directions and ricochet
here's a
everything
really-
everywhere like I saw in Red.
No. No, what would happen is your casings would become
Yeah,
minor
so
bits of
please,
shrapnel.
please sort them into the proper chest, even if you have to look a couple times.
Because if you
I will
don't
do
know
so in a
anything about
second.
physics, your casing is lighter than your bullet. Your casing is gonna go places. The bullet's gonna be sitting there.
Yeah.
Oh.
The only reason the casing doesn't blow up usually when you're shooting a gun is because everywhere
Barrel.
around the casing except for where the bullet is literally blocked off.
Yeah, it's a directed explosion.
Yeah. So it's directed towards the bullet, which pushes the bullet. Even I know this, but you see like some of the guns in Hollywood and they just do the exact opposite. It's like if this gun was to actually ever exist in real life and somebody fired it, they're,
Well, like,
they're
I don't-
probably losing
I
a
was
limb.
I was referencing a movie called Red, Retired and Extremely Dangerous. And I don't think they did like some serious research for it. They just saw it and were like, this could theoretically work this way based off this information.
Now, if you look
Sure.
at like the Hellboy gun, like if you actually look at the Hellboy gun, where the actual like current active round is that you can shoot, he has like 2 slits from left to right of the gun, or from both sides of the gun, left to right, that are open on it. That
Unless
is
it has
not a good thing.
yeah, unless it has like a fat fucking case wall, it's
I mean, I'm
Well,
pretty sure
well,
he
he's
had a
not
pretty
shooting
fat
fucking demon
fucking
bullets
case
now,
wall.
is he?
no.
Well, I mean, like, there's the Destiny guns, all of which are weird.
Well, there's some Destiny guns
most
that make
guns in
sense, like
Destiny-
Seregios. Like that's just an AR with cool fucking armor or fucking padding. That's all it is.
Most
Well, I
guns
mean,
in
like, the
Destiny
more
actually do
magical
something pretty well.
guns. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
literally just
Thorn,
Destiny.
which just magically fires this big ass, like, realistically foot long
That's fucking thick.
thorn.
Yeah. Well, I mean, then again, you could probably just put like an actual like thorn in there and fire it, considering the fucking barrel size.
No, if you look at
Like,
the comparative size,
is-
though, like side by
Nice,
side,
nice,
like you
nice,
get
nice.
close to one, there's a noticeable difference in size, especially at the flare
Well,
at the end of the
I'm
thorn.
gonna be I'm gonna be dead honest. I'm gonna be dead fucking honest. I have given up trying to make sense of Destiny weapons because one, we have sweet business. Which
The
is
only ones you
exactly
can make
that.
sense about now at this point are just, you know, the bows.
No, sweet
Yeah,
sweet
it's
business
both
makes
and
sense.
no,
It's a
lot-
box.
No, it doesn't. No,
It's a
Sweet
box
Business
felt
does not-
Gatling gun. Box fed
No,
gallon
it's a
gun.
It's a Helix mag.
Yeah, it's a Helix mag. The fuck are you high on? That is not a box. That is a helical.
Around Helix,
It's a
man.
helical mag that has no motor, no feeding system. I don't know where the ejection port is, and it doesn't have a functioning trigger. It has a power slide like a Nerf gun.
I'd like to clarify for that gun. The only way you
It's
could ever make
probably
sense
the-
of it with the fantasy features is the Titan armor, where it says, while holding this weapon, slowly over time, refill this gun's ammo.
Yeah,
So the
one.
only way that could make
worried.
sense is if it's literally actively doing that. It's like it just transports the bullet into the fucking casing and shoots it out afterwards.
But also,
Like,
we
it-
have
but
seen
even then-
short range phase teleportation type shit.
Look,
Yeah.
Destiny is a big fucking can of worms that nobody is
So
prepared to
it
open.
could
'cause
just
no
be
one
like
can find it.
phasing the
But no
bullet.
one
bullet.
wants to open it
Not
because it is in
right?
fact spoiled.
You want to talk about smoothness, right? There's enough room behind the helical magazine for a motor to be there, and it's reasonable to assume that that handle that you pull back functions as power for the motor and the trigger.
No,
as-
there is one rifle in Destiny, not Destiny 2, Destiny 1 that makes sense. Was it Land Beyond called, or was it No Man's
Land.
Land?
I would honestly say
Yeah.
that.
No Land
I would
Beyond.
honestly say
No
the
Land
Cabal-
Beyond. That's
No
the
Land-
only one. It was bolt action, and that was it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Only
there
one?
is.
No, I'm about to list so many right now.
Don't you
No,
fucking go
sir.
I'm just
No.
talking about ones I remember.
Shut
There
the
is
fuck
the
up.
way